I'm joined now by Leanne Walters, whose family was impacted and continues to be impacted by this contaminated water, and whose questions came up at the debate. Leanne, great to have you on the program.
Thank you for having me today.
I'm sure this is a strange set of circumstances, and I want to talk to you about the issue at the center of all of this, which is contaminated water in an American city. But I have to ask you, what's your reaction over the last 24 hours of looking at a leaked email that appears to have given your question ahead of time to one of the candidates?
I was disgusted by Hillary's answer when she first answered it. I'm even more so now, and I feel she should be disqualified because it gave her an advantage that she shouldn't have had.
Let me go ahead and play her response to your question.
I want to go further, though. I want us to have an absolute commitment to getting rid of lead wherever it is, because it's not only in water systems, it's also in soil, and it's in lead paint that is found mostly in older homes. That's why 500,000 children today have lead in their bodies. So I want to do exactly what you said. We will commit to a priority to change the water systems, and we will commit within 5 years to remove lead from everywhere.
Why did you not like that answer?
Because the answer she gave is the cop-out answer to take it away from water and put funds where there are already funds. And was only going to be, if she's elected, she'll be in office for 4 years, not 5 years. So how does that work?
Okay, so let's go kind of take a step back and get caught up on how you were even involved in the CNN debate in the first place. You've been very active. Our viewers may not know that, but you've been very active on this issue in Flint, Michigan. What has been your family's experience with the lead poisoning?
Well, I have 5-year-old twins. One of them was diagnosed with lead poisoning. The other one was exposed. And he is not growing. He hasn't grown in almost 2 years. Both of my boys have hand-eye coordination issues and speech issues, and some of the behavioral issues with impulse control from the lead poisoning.
So this is a very serious issue. We're looking, by the way, at your darling children. They're so cute, Leanne. As we look at the pictures, I can't imagine as a mom what it's like to deal with this and come to the realization that the water that you think is clean is actually not in the city in which you're living in. How did you get chosen to be part of the CNN debate?
CNN contacted me and asked me if I would be willing to ask a question, and I had to submit 3 questions.
So you submitted 3 questions, and then what happened?
It was narrowed down to one of the questions that I had given them, and that was the question that I wound up asking. So did you speak to anybody else besides CNN about that one question that you were going to ask of the candidates? I referred to 2 of my mentors for guidance on if they thought it was a good enough question to be asking in the context of which I was asking it, but those are the only people that had that information. So do you think beyond CNN, is there any way that your question was able to get to someone like Donna Brazile? No. So the only way would be through a producer, I assume you were working with CNN, or with somebody that was part of the CNN organization? Well, I don't make assumptions, for one, but the other people that had the question, yeah, I don't see them giving that question to anybody else. And so one of the things that certainly caught everyone's attention when we first saw this WikiLeaks document was one of the questions directed to Hillary Clinton tomorrow is from a woman with a rash. Do you have a rash? I do have a rash. I've had a rash since June of 2014. It never goes away, and I mean, I can show it. No, we take your word for it, and that's because of the lead poisoning. It was from the change in the water source. I developed it in June of 2014. My family all developed rashes around that time. We still battle with the rashes to this day after whatever was in our water. See, I'm trying to kind of close the circle on, we know this is, because someone could say, well, we're not sure this is the exact woman that then asked the question, but based on the description in the email and the content, it appears that you are the woman that Donna Brazile was giving heads up to the campaign about. You are also an undecided voter, Leanne, and I'm curious about where you stand, given your experience now, seeing that perhaps your question was given ahead of time, where you stand on the election and what you think you're going to do come voting day. I am very undecided at this point. I have been contemplating not voting for the first time ever, but I don't know if I can go through with the not voting part. So I have a very tough decision to make. And when you think of Donald Trump,
talk to us about that, because you told us that you felt disgusted that Hillary Clinton got this question ahead of time, potentially. What are your thoughts about Donald Trump?
No comment.
No comment. Okay, that's fair. Let me just get to that, because we're going to finish up. We're out of time, but I have to ask you about the water situation in Flint. What is the truth?
Water
What
situation
is happening there?
We're still not fixed. We're still having issues with lead in the water and chlorine in the water and Legionella. And since the emergency response expired in August, people are under the misconception that it's fixed, and it's not.
So bottom line, if you wanted to drink water out of the tap in Flint, you still can't do that?
Specifically in my home, I cannot do that because we have no chlorine in our home, and we were told by the EPA we cannot.
So what will it take to fix this, Leanne?
We have to get the orthophosphates through, and we have to raise up the chlorine levels in the water, and we got to get the lead pipes out, and we got to fix the infrastructure.
And so the big question for you is, who's the leader that's going to do that, right?
Yep.
And we'll see. We'll see who America chooses. But what an interesting turn of events for you, Leanne. And we look forward to having you back on the program. You know a lot about this subject. We're sorry your family's been so impacted, but we certainly want to follow up with you and see what changes can be made quickly. Thank you for your time.